Alright guys, before we get into the video, I do want to say this is my first time reading Reddit stories, so might not be the best. My reading was like, there are times where I stuttered, and I cut out as much as I can read Reddit, but there are a couple of times where I just continue on even through my stutters. I do plan to do this weekly, and it's gonna be fun for me personally because I do love reading Reddit stories. I read these like a lot in my off time, and so if I find any that I think are worth reading on here, I would definitely save them. But like when I'm bored, I read Reddit stories, so I think it's fun to read them here, and you know. But I do appreciate you clicking on the video. I do plan, like I said, I plan to do these weekly, and it'll probably just be whatever game, depends on what I just want to play when I'm bored. But thank you for clicking. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you next week. Alright, so we're gonna start with the first story. Now this story was created by a 27-year-old man, and the title goes, "Am I overreacting over my wife, 29 female, confessing to an affair with her coworker, 19 male, during a rough patch in our marriage? I am lost after confession from my wife. I'm stuck in my own head and need an outside perspective. For some context, we're college sweethearts, married for 6 years, and we have a daughter, 4-year-old female. My wife's not only my first love, but also my best friend. The family we built means the world to me. Recently, our marriage had a rough patch when my in-laws, 59 male and 58 female, stayed with us for a few months. It put a lot of strain on our relationship. My mother-in-law has always been gracious, but my father-in-law has never approved. I'm not in his top 5 choices for his daughter. He straight up told me I wasn't good enough for her. He even initially refused to walk her down the aisle because of his disapproval. He's our biggest obstacle. I tried ignoring him. We no longer had our own space as a couple and family. My father-in-law took over everything and undermined me to our daughter. He called it his grandfather's rights. He came between my wife and me. She would make excuses for him or say he's still her dad. We were pitted against each other. We stopped communicating, fought often with no resolution, and intimacy went extinct. We're still in our recovery. We're working on reconnecting. We went to this retreat for our anniversary, and overall, it was good for us. We were able to talk and have fun with each other again. Part of the program was intimacy exercises. We basically stared into each other's eyes in a quiet space for an extended period. It's supposed to help us be present with each other. We decided to continue these exercises at home. So during our last exercise, we're staring into each other's eyes. We're talking about stuff we appreciate, and I start telling her how much she means to me and what specifically I love about her. She looked like she was in pain the more I went on. She told me to stop praising her and how I didn't know everything. I asked her what she meant, and she confessed to a near physical affair during our fallout. She said she was lonely. We were on opposite sides of the earth, and there was a coworker showering her with attention and affection. At first she ignored him, but his chasing began feeling good, and she softened. She got a high from it. She was engrossed, and they had their lunch break together. She was engrossed, and they'd have their lunch break together every day and hung out often after work. Other coworkers teased her about how she had the guy wrapped around her finger and him being wet. She didn't dismiss this, but felt guilty about what others were perceiving, so she moved their lunches to her car. She convinced herself the relationship wasn't wrong because nothing physical occurred. In private, they shared lingering hugs and touch. She eventually resolved to having sex with him on their next hangout, but she stopped because of her love for our family. She said while on her way out to meet him, she saw our daughter and me having a good time playing together, and our daughter gave her a drawing of our family that reminded her of what we had in our commitment. I remember the night too. Her telling me she was invited for a girls' night out, her getting ready, how excited she was, and her suddenly canceling and ignoring her phone. I'm looking back on it a lot differently. I was too numb to respond. It didn't seem real. She asked me to say something. I asked why she was confessing now. She said it was weighing on her, and me speaking so positively about her made it worse. Sorry guys, my reading is so bad. I asked if she was still involved with the coworker. She swore she wasn't. She broke things off with him with no contact, and he transferred to a different department. She said losing our family wasn't worth the risk. I asked if she ever planned to tell me. She admitted no, convinced herself there wasn't anything to tell because she didn't go through with it. My mother-in-law knew before me. The guilt was eating away at my wife, so she opened up to her mom. My mother-in-law told her I needed to hear the truth from her and my wife needed to trust in our relationship. It got to be too much. I told her that I couldn't do this right then, and we needed to end the exercise. She kept asking for me to not shut down on her and proclaiming how she loves me and wants our family. I told her that I didn't want to hear I love yous right then. She said the coworker was the biggest mistake she's ever made, and she's fully committed to me. Only told her I needed some space to process. Sometimes she respects my space requests, sometimes she doesn't. I moved out to the guest room for the time being. She sends affirmation texts about her love and what our vows mean to her. I'm just still really numb. This is hell. I don't know what to do with her confession. I knew things weren't perfect. I knew we were in a bad place and working our way back, but I never expected this. I was here wanting my wife, wanting to work on our marriage and our family, and she was off sneaking around with some 19-year-old kid. Like, what the hell are we doing here? I don't really either. I never looked elsewhere. My wife was it for me. To me, she had a place in my life that no one else could fill. I don't have anyone to talk with. My wife was the only one I could be holding myself with and open up about everything. But I feel I can't do that now. It feels like I was drowning, and just when I was getting back on the boat, I was shoved back shoved back into the water. I'm at a complete loss. Am I overreacting? So honestly, this guy is like clearly not overreacting. Yeah, it's really a shame. And it seems like the father-in-law, he doesn't really talk too much of how he really stops them. He just seems, he says like, you know, he got in the way of them really being together. Another thing I didn't really understand was the whole how he was on the other side of the earth, I guess. He didn't really go into details with that, but it's really a shame. I mean, I understand like it is hard, I guess, but I think she really just like gave into temptation, and it like once she saw them, her daughter and her husband back like together, it really like pulled her back in. But I don't think he's overreacting at all. And if it was me in that position, I really wouldn't be able to forgive her ever. 'Cause that's just too much. Even if it wasn't physically cheating, it was emotionally cheating, and like you can't excuse that. Now there is an update for this story, and it goes on longer. So it starts out. Thank you to everyone who reached out. I wasn't expecting the response. It gave me some clarity. I wanted to give an update. But first, I also wanted to clear something with my in-laws. I was asked a lot. My wife and I opened our home because my in-laws were moving closer to her. They could see our daughter more and wanted a place to stay while they got everything in order. Their stay ended up being longer than expected, and I didn't think my father-in-law would escalate to the point that he did. I didn't realize the toll it'd take on my family. But my in-laws have since moved out. The issue wasn't my mother-in-law though. She has always been gracious. It's just my father-in-law. On to the update. I had time to process and was in a better headspace to talk with my wife. Thankfully, we found an opportunity where our daughter wasn't home. I don't want her exposed to our fights. We were good at keeping her out of them until my in-laws stayed. She was exposed to us fighting then. It's partly why I paused the convo / intimacy exercise after my wife's confession, because it was only leading to a fight. I want to cultivate a healthier environment for our daughter. My wife said she was glad we were talking again and how she didn't want to hide things anymore or have secrets from me. She asked where her confession about the affair left us. I told her it left us nowhere good. I know I love her. I want our family, and I was committed to repairing our marriage. I thought we were making progress and healing, but I didn't know the full extent of our wounds. The affair is a brand new for me. I'm not only struggling with the affair itself, but also the coworker's age. She sought out a 19-year-old kid. I don't know how to reconcile. Me bringing up his age stung her. She said she's not proud of it. She didn't think of his age at the time. She was lonely, his attention felt good, and she craved it. She doesn't think it was the coworker himself. I said it didn't make a difference. I don't know. I knew of this coworker before the affair, and I've seen him in passing. Around his hiring, I remember my wife told me she thought he had a crush on her and that he'd get shy around her. It was innocent. I never gave it another thought. I told her I wanted to see their text history. She said she had deleted oh my god. I told her I wanted to see their text history. She said she had deleted his contact and their text, but she retrieved a backup from iCloud. I told her I wanted to see their text history. She said she had deleted his contact and their text. She retrieved a backup from iCloud. It supported her account. The timeline added up to the night they were supposed to have sex. There weren't any weird gaps. Seeing those texts hurt like hell. Her indulging another guy in that way. The emotional intimacy and everything else she checked She checked out of our marriage and gave kid a part of herself. Was completely shut off. She said she'd do anything to get us back on track. She committed to me and working on our marriage. She wants to make everything right. I didn't know how to trust her. Lied, schemed, and had no plans to tell me the truth. Decided to withhold that privilege. Said she was afraid she crossed the line we couldn't come back from. Made huge mistakes and she wanted to fix everything. To marriage, we had promised each other unconditional love. Afraid she'd lose that from me. That her actions pushed that love out of orbit. Asked me if it was still possible for us to recover and keep rebuilding. But I couldn't give her a definite answer anymore. Not sure if I can forgive the affair. Willing to give reconciliation and try. Entering couples therapy. Can't attempt reconciliation without it. It's too much to navigate on our own and the danger of us falling back into bad communication habits. Want to be hopeful, but I don't know what to expect. I just feel beat down and broken. If anything would come of therapy, family means the world to me. Need to see if it can be saved. Again, for everyone's report and the resources it shared. Much appreciated. So I kind of liked, you know, he's not giving up on it, you know, proves he's stronger of a man than most. I'm glad that she didn't try and hide anything from him today. I mean, like, besides the fact that she wasn't going to tell him ever until, like, she felt guilty, you know, I think him being able to see, like, the messages and everything, so it definitely did hurt. It's like that, it's what you need or something like that, to know, like, you can put all your doubts down. Yeah, she could have just said, oh, it's out there, and then, you know, if he didn't, continue to believe she did, like, it went a lot farther than he would want it. Well, I think, you know, him being able to read those messages was definitely, like, a help for him. I think still either way, it's definitely damaging. I'm glad that he's trying to keep his daughter's environment, like, healthy, because that's who he should be putting first. Before his wife, I think his daughter is more important, because because, you know, like, his wife has already hurt him, and, you know, like, if that doesn't work out, he still wants his wife to be good in both of them, not take a side. At the end of the day, that's her mother. I do think the fact that it was a 19-year-old is like, I can see why that hurts him. It's someone younger, and it puts him in a bad light. He could have insecurities, you know, for his age. Well, I think he really didn't think that through, and she was just giving into like temptation, like I said. Really is a shame. Alright, so this is a second story. It was created by a 28 female, and the title goes, Am I overreacting for locking myself in our bedroom when my husband's cousin made himself at home? Last night, my husband's cousin, 23-year-old male, was passing through town and asked to crash with us. I had never met him, but my husband, 30-year-old male, said he was cool and chill. From the second he arrived, it was weird. He walked in, took his shoes off, and then instead of waiting for my husband to show him the guest room, he sprawled on our bed and started scrolling through his phone like he lived it. He even called out to me, hey, you got snacks or something. When I told him that was our bedroom, the guest room was across the hall, he just laughed and said, this bed's way comfier, don't be uptight. I told my husband I was uncomfortable and asked him to talk to his cousin. He told me to just let it go and pick my battles instead. I took out my laptop, locked myself in the guest room, and stayed there for the rest of the night while they hung out. Now my husband says I was rude for hiding and that I embarrassed him. Am I overreacting? This is a pretty short one, but obviously, yeah, she's like not overreacting. That's her house, and it's really a shame like that the husband would just take his side, but I don't really understand because, you know, again, that's her house. Like, who are you, even if you're just a cousin, like, who are you to like go in there and just like take their bed, and then I don't know, that it's really insane to me. This comment says, in quotations, get the fuck out now. I wouldn't give a shit what my partner wanted in this scenario. He straight up went into your safe space and act like he owned the place. Fuck that. Hell no. Please speak up and stop finding your words, OP. This was like, I totally understand that. Like, I'm more like surprised at the fact that like they let like the cousin just come in, and like the husband just allowed that without like saying anything. Like, I understand it's your cousin and you don't want a bad impression, but like, you're being nice already by just letting him stay over just because he's coming through town, and he then takes advantage of that and pushes your wife out, makes her uncomfortable, and you tell her to pick her battles. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. I genuinely don't get that. The husband is I'm more surprised at the fact that she's still like with him after that. Like, after that fact, I would definitely like, I'd be done. I would never give him the grace of myself. Like, that is just, it's nasty. Alright, so on to the third story. We aren't given any information about the OP themselves or anyone in the story, but it is a short one. So title goes, Am I overreacting for being pissed that my girlfriend uses AI to text? Already an insane, like, just an insane title. I'm gonna make a guess and say no, because the fact that, you know, your girlfriend needs AI to text you, like, that's so like, you need AI to text me. I would actually be so like bothered. Like, am I like, that makes me feel like I'm boring or something, that you can't express like any emotion talking to me and you need AI to do it. Alright, so I caught my girlfriend using ChatGPT to reply to my messages, and not just sometimes, but for everything. At first, I thought she was just being extra thoughtful with her text, until I saw her copy pasting my message into an AI app while we were sitting together. When I called her out, she said it helps express herself better and that I should be grateful she puts in the effort. But it feels like I've been talking to a robot this whole time. Even our serious conversations, when I was stressed about work and my dog died, she just fed my messages into an AI and sent the perfect response. Now I'm questioning if anything she ever said was really her. Am I overreacting? She says I'm overreacting, but I feel like our entire relationship is a chatbot simulation. Yeah, already, like, he's not overreacting. The fact that she says he should be grateful that she puts in the effort. Like, what effort? You're taking 2 seconds to copy and paste a freaking message and just going, AI, what do I say to this? Like, it actually boggles me that she has the audacity to say that to him. You're putting no effort into this, and like, I understand his worry. Like, if that's what he's doing, it's like, you know what? If it was like simple conversations, like, how are you doing, whatever. Okay, it's sad that you would have to do that, but whatever. But the fact that she's doing it when it's like serious conversations is insane, because like, none of it is anything of her mind. None of it is how she feels. It's just, AI, what do I say to this? And then it's just copy and paste. Like, that, it's so insane to me. This was a pretty short one, but I just can't like get over it. I had to, like, I saw that and I had to read it because it's just insane. Like, and the fact that like she thinks she's putting an effort, like, I don't know, man. Alright, so on to the fourth post. So this was created by a 28-year-old female, and the title goes, Am I overreacting for not wanting to be your bridesmaid after being handed a weight loss plan by the bride? Wow. I can't even believe that. I can't believe that. What? A weight loss plan? I'm sorry, like, I get, you know, some people want their marriages or their marriages to be like perfect, spotless, like no problems, but someone's weight is insane. And like, you know, no reasonable person is gonna do that. No reasonable person is gonna lose weight for your marriage unless it's for themselves. If you are asking someone to like lose weight for your marriage, it's honestly disgusting. But let's just read this. Whatever. I was recently asked to be a bridesmaid for my college best friend's wedding. I was genuinely touched until she sent us our wedding prep kits. Inside mine, a diet plan, a motivational water bottle, and a note that said, "Let's all look snatched for the big day. You got this." Muscle emoji. I was floored. I'm a size 12, healthy, active, and not at all interested in losing weight for anyone, much less to fit into her aesthetic. I texted her privately trying to be civil. "Hey, I'm not comfortable being handed a diet plan. I'd rather not be in the bridal party if my appearance is an issue." She responded, "Oh my god, don't be sensitive. I gave one to all the girls. It's about looking cohesive, not shaming anyone. Except turns out only I and one other bridesmaid, who's also mid-sized, got that version of the kit." I bowed out and now I'm being labeled a dramatic one in our group chat. She even told our mutual friends I quit over a water bottle. Am I the asshole for, I keep saying asshole, am I overreacting for standing up for myself and saying no? So obviously she's not, and I feel like it's even worse of the bride to lie and say, "I gave it to everybody," and then she only gave it to the 2 people who she considers overweight or fat. I don't really know what a size 12 is, as I feel like this isn't from America, because I don't know who called, like, I don't know. I've never heard of size 12 or any like number with size, so I think this is like another country kind of place. Sorry if I just don't know personally, so please don't go in the comments and kill me over it. But yeah, I personally, like, I've never heard of a size 12, so I don't know what that even looks like. But if she considers herself, like, you know, healthy and active, then it's probably not that big. And the fact that the bride lied and said, "Oh, I gave it to everybody," and then gave it to just 2 people that she could be considered big, it's just insulting. And then she goes in and like tells everyone, "Oh, she quit over a water bottle." It's like, it's demeaning. So obviously, no, she's not overreacting for like saying no and standing up for herself. There was a comment, and it's the top comment, which I really wanted to read, and it goes, "Are you standing up for yourself? When she messaged in the group text that you quit over a water bottle, what did you say? Did you respond, or did you let her say whatever she wanted? Your response should have been, 'No, bride, I didn't quit over a water bottle, and you know that. I quit because you gave me a diet plan and told me to get snatched for your wedding. Then you said you gave the same to every other bridesmaid, but that isn't true. I am not interested in being put on a diet for wedding photo ops, so I bowed out. You're welcome. If she's insulting you, debasing you to your friends, and lying about you, you are not required to keep your mouth shut to keep the peace. She's keeping her peace, you keep yours. If she's being a bridezilla and lying about you, call her on it. You do not owe her your dignity, much as she is trying to snatch it from you." And I think I do want to like know what OP said, because despite the fact that, you know, she tried to keep it civil and just talk to the bride then went out of her way to go tell everyone else around them that she quit over a water bottle. So like, she's already like causing issues with her friends, which is like, you know, it's an issue between the 2 of them. It's not needed. There's no reason for her to then involve other people. So I do want to know what OP said like after this, and I do hope there's an update, and if there is, I will definitely like read it for you guys. But I agree with the commenter like full-heartedly. Like, she doesn't deserve dignity if she's trying to like take away from OP, and it's honestly just insane. And I hope her friends figure out the truth, and I hope they hold her to account, because OP doesn't deserve that. Alright, for the 5th story, we aren't given any information about OP or any of the ages besides the 2 young children. But the title goes, "Am I overreacting for leaving my friend's party after using me as a babysitter without telling me?" Saturday was my friend Claudia's birthday party. She invited me weeks in advance, and I brought wine, snacks, and a gift. Everything was going well until her sister arrived with her 2 young children, ages 4 and 6, and without saying anything, left them in my care because you're good with kids. I didn't go there to babysit. I went there to socialize and relax. After an hour of chasing them around the yard, keeping them from getting into the pool, and wiping soda off the lounge chair, I got fed up and left without saying goodbye. Claudia texted me the next day saying that I felt really bad for leaving her party and that her sister felt judged. Was I really a bad friend for not wanting to stay at a party to babysit someone else's kids? I just wanted to have a good time. And obviously this is already like not her fault. Like, she's not overreacting, and I don't even understand, like, if she left, what's the problem? You know, like, because it's not her job to babysit those kids. She's not even the sister's friend. She's friends times with Claudia, and her sister just arrived and was like, here's my kids, and left to go like have fun with everyone else. She brought the wine, the snacks, and a gift, and she wanted to hang out with her friend and all the other people there, and was then forced to just watch a couple kids. Like, I think it's worse on Claudia that, you know, she left her friend. Like, why would she let that happen? Like, I understand that's her sister, and a lot of people, like, you know, obviously she probably has a good relationship with her sister, but the fact that she leaves like her friend to deal with that it's really rude. This comment was like a really good response for OP, and it went, sorry Claudia, I came to the party as a guest because you invited me. I was not dressed or prepared or paid to babysit, which is what your sister assumed I would do. If she feels judged, that's her projecting because she knows what she did was entitled and disrespectful. My problem is not with you, but I would appreciate it if you could understand my point of view. And I like, if OP did respond with that, I would totally agree. Like, you know, Claudia it's not that and it's not even that she does have the problem with Claudia, even though I personally think she should, because Claudia also allowed that to happen. Like, you know, Claudia allowed that to happen, and it's rude, but, you know, like, her sister was disrespectful, and her friend should understand that. Claudia should understand that OP wasn't there to watch a couple kids that aren't even hers, and like, no matter how good she is with kids, they're not her kids. She didn't bring them, and like, it's like, you're not her friend. Like, I'm sure her and the sister are cordial, you know, they get along and they deal with each other, tolerate each other, but that's not her friend. She doesn't, like, besides being respectful and nice, she doesn't have to watch her kids. It's not her responsibility. If her kids, if she knew like she was gonna go there and she didn't want to watch her kids, she could have left her maybe with the father, if he's in the picture. Could have left her with her grandparents. Could have hired a babysitter. But like, bringing the kids and then just throwing it on someone that's there is like really disrespectful. And I empathize with OP, and I think it's rude of Claudia to allow it, and it's just entirely off. The sister thought she could do that and then felt judged at the end of it, because you're not being judged. She didn't even say a thing to the sister. She just left. She didn't like she didn't say anything to anyone about anything. She didn't express how she felt until asked. So I don't know where she goes feeling judged if no one even said anything to her. It makes no sense. Yeah, whatever. I guess that's their point of view. Alright, so this is gonna be the final story, and we aren't really given any information about the OP's age or anyone's age in this, but the title goes, am I overreacting? I stopped answering my mother-in-law's calls because of her religion. Just from the title alone, she could be, but I don't think so, because, you know, a lot of people, and it depends on the faith, but a lot of people do, like, when they're in faith, they are very, like, pushy with it. There are some, I'm not saying everyone, I don't want to be rude to religion. I think religion's awesome, and if you believe in stuff, you believe in it, whatever. But I think there are people who try and push onto the fact of their religions, and those people are people I don't respect, because, you know, you're okay, entitled to believe whatever you believe, but to then force it onto others it's rude. It's really rude, and it shouldn't happen. Okay, let's just get into the reading. Sorry, I had to speed that a little bit. Background. My husband passed away 5 years ago, and we had a son together. My husband has never been close to his family. He hadn't seen / talked to his siblings for 4 years before passing away, and my mother-in-law has always been super pushy about her religion, so he went low contact. Whenever she would start being pushy, he would simply hang up on her / stop answering her. She's a Jehovah's Witness. After my husband passed away, my mother-in-law has had contact with me. She rarely ever sees my son. We live in another state. I refuse for her to take him anywhere alone or send him over without me, because she wants to tell my son that his dad will someday come back ever since he was 4 years old. I've asked her not to multiple times and explained how that can mess with his mind, and that death is already such a hard topic for a child to understand. She agreed, however, she won't leave me alone about it. At first, she would say things like, the devil took my husband because he didn't believe in Jehovah. She was causing me to have bad panic attacks, so I went no contact for a few months after he passed away. I felt bad and didn't want to take my husband's side of the family away from my son. I'm extremely close to my family. I've tried having contact with the rest of his family until his brother tried hitting on me, mother-in-law's ideas, and 2 of his sisters blamed me for his passing away. This is a few days ago. My mother-in-law asked me to come out for 2 weeks and that she would pay for everything. I agreed. My son is 9 years old now, so it was only fair. Everything was going great until 3 days before we were about to leave. We were sharing memories about my husband, and then she started saying how he was such a dedicated Jehovah's Witness even as an adult. That wasn't true, but I didn't say anything then. She told me how he was illiterate and making it seem as if he was stupid, and how much his religion had helped him with that. I told her that wasn't true, and she lost it. She screamed at me things like she knew her son best and started calling my son by my husband's name multiple times. She said that this time things would be different. I calmly reminded her that my son wasn't my husband and that she had no right trying to push on her beliefs onto us. I've always tried to be extremely respectful, and I've always taken any pamphlet they're giving me. Usually my husband was the one who threw it out because he didn't want it in in our home. When she dropped us off at the airport, she tried to give me a pamphlet for the first time. I didn't accept it. I think she's saying pamphlet, but she's writing pamphlet, which was confusing me. She started screaming at me, and I just walked away. I have not answered her calls since. Every boundary I've ever tried to set has been violated multiple times, and I feel disrespected. My mom says I should go no contact, but my dad insists to say I should let it go. So Reddit, am I overreacting? No, I don't think she's overreacting at all. I think, like, obviously, if her husband also didn't want any part of that religion side, then I don't think she should go trying to entertain it either. Like, she's very adamant that she's not gonna put her son through that or herself. And like her mother-in-law, the fact that she was treating the son like a rebirth of her own child who passed was really scary, because it shows her intentions that she only wants to get close to him as a redo of what she did wrong with her own son, when the grandson isn't her son, he's his own person. And you know, you shouldn't again force your religion on anybody. The wife obviously doesn't want any part of the religion, just like the husband didn't. So like it's so weird that she's trying to force it. And I agree with the mom, she should go no contact, because like, yeah, it sucks to cut off like that whole side of the family. And you know, she's not gonna know, the son's not gonna know, like, son's not gonna know his dad's side of the family. But it doesn't seem like there's any good from it. The brother-in-law tried to hit on her, and then the two sisters blamed her for passing, and the mother is just like a wacko. So I don't see like any connections there that would matter. Like it sucks to have to cut those wires, but like there's nothing there that like is holding her. Like there's nothing there that's worth like trying to construct. So I agree with the mother saying that she should go no contact, and I think the dad and sister are like just not seeing how much it matters, telling her to let it go. I don't know. I don't think she's overreacting at all. I think she's in her right, and I think she should also go no contact. And I think she should just try and raise her son the best she can, and you know, of course, talk great about the father that he was, or that he could have been, and just try to get past that. You know, the son already has a lot to deal with being raised by one parent and missing out the experience of having a dad like later on in life, and that's gonna be harder. I don't think having people on that side that are just gonna cause issues for him and her are worth keeping. But yeah, I don't know. That was gonna be the last story, and I appreciate you guys for listening. I really do like reading these stories, even though my reading kind of sucks. Right now, this was all Am I Overreacting? If you guys want me to do any more subreddits, do feel free to put in like suggestions in the comments, and I will definitely check out more. I plan to do this like every week, like I said in the start. So you know, do be happy to see more. I appreciate you for watching, and if you hit that subscribe button, I'd appreciate it a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this far in the video. Just for those who wanted to watch, this was a little moment where I almost died, which was really funny to me. I don't know how I survived it, but I wanted to have these two clips because I didn't want them to go to waste. So there's a clip of me almost dying, and there's gonna be another clip of how I finally finished a run. This was the farthest I gotten. I was really upset. I thought I could really win, but it was a shame. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day.